morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to take a look at, well, it's a new League Battle deck. It's a Team Rocket Mewtwo EX League Battle deck. And here's the thing, right? I love League Battle decks. I've been effusive in my praise of them since they first came around. I think they are wonderful, ridiculous, awesome products. And I think these are ones which, firstly, I hope they keep selling well so Pokemon keeps making them. Secondly, I think everyone who doesn't own the decks they're based on should go and get them, because they're really good ways to pick up actual proper competitive decks at an incredibly reasonable price. And thirdly, in what world does this get a League Battle deck? I'm sorry, but I saw this and my first thought was, yay, new League Battle deck. And my second thought was, what? Team Rocket's Mewtwo? Because League Battle decks in the past have been for very, very, very good decks. If we look at the last couple of League Battle decks that actually came around, we had a Dragapult League Battle deck. Has been arguably the best deck in the format for a long time, at least one of them. Just came second at this past World Championships. There was the Charizard League Battle deck, which, after releasing Obsidian Flames, was the best deck for a while, and it has dropped off a bit, but actually still made top 8 at the World Championships this past weekend. Gardevoir, now admittedly the Gardevoir one's slightly out of date now, but it's still very much there. And oh, by the way, won the World Championships this past weekend. Miraidon, which burst onto the scene of a top 8 finish at the European International Championships and was good for a long time. Palkia V-Star had a League Battle deck, and that was so good on release, there was a tournament in Australia where it took 8 of the top 8 slots, and it remained great for a long time. Mew got a League Battle deck, and that won Worlds in 2023. The point I'm making here is, firstly, 2 of the last 3 World Champions have had a League Battle deck. If anyone's wondering, the one that didn't was Iron Thorns, which won Worlds last year in Hawaii. That is kind of like a blocking deck, which frankly isn't that much fun to play, and it's weird and it's complicated, and it's not the kind of thing Pokemon would generally go for like a League Battle deck. So I understand why they wouldn't do that. I understand why they would stay away from it. This does make perfect sense. League Battle decks up to now have been phenomenal decks that have seen a huge amount of success. And sure, there's an argument that some of them have come a little bit late, but that's just by virtue of Pokemon going, hey, this is really good, we should make it into a League Battle deck, and then in the lead time it takes to make it, which can be a while, well, they get less good, frankly. And even then, it's a deck that was phenomenal. The problem we're finding here is, this deck was never good. Now, maybe this is a redonkulous prediction on the part of the Pokemon Company. Maybe what they're doing here is going, trust us, mate, see what happens after the next rotation, see what happens in a couple metagames time, this is going to be amazing, and if it is, I'm going to be like legitimately delighted about this. But the reality is, at this exact moment, this is not a particularly good deck. I went on over to Limitless and had a bit of a gander here to try and see what finishes we've had for Team Rocket's Mewtwo, and we had 2 at the North American International Championships. Andres David Torres got 294th, and Noel Navarez got 352nd. That's it. And by the way, if you click detailed tournament history or complete tournament history, you don't get anything more there. That is it. That is the sum total of the results we've had, and we had a couple kind of 300 to 350th place at North American Internationals. This has not been a very good deck. I'm not sure why it gets the League Battle deck treatment. Oh, and by the way, it didn't play Crobat. For what it's worth, it also didn't play Scramble Switch. So that's why I'm confused about the deck. We should still have a good chat about what it is, because make no mistake about it, we're still talking about a deck that comes with 5 EXs and an A-spec. We should still take this seriously. It's retailing for $29.99 and is releasing on the 7th of November. And what's great about these products is that Pokemon don't skimp on these products. It's $30 for like a starter deck style product, which is very expensive for what it's worth. However, another way to look at it is it's $30 for a ready-made competitive deck, which is extremely cheap. These are awesome. But again, I'm saying they're awesome when they're decks like Dragapult, which are among the best deck in the format. So what you get here is 3 copies of Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX. And by the way, I should mention we don't have a full set list here. Often when these are revealed, we can see the back of the box and we can see exactly what it contains. As of the moment of recording, we don't see that here. So I'm sorry, this is not information I can share with you. But I think based on previous League Battle decks, we can make a little bit of a guess. And what we've got from Mewtwo here is a rather interesting Pokemon that's so close to being good. Now, the ability Power Saver says this Pokemon can't attack unless you have 4 or more Team Rocket's Pokemon in play. That's Team Rocket's Mewtwo EX plus 3 more. Now, we know these League Battle decks are made by people that care and people that play the game, so this deck is going to be full of Team Rocket's Pokemon. This isn't going to be like half Team Rocket's Pokemon and half none. No, it's going to be full of Team Rocket's Pokemon. We know the people that make these decks know what they're doing, so there's going to be a bunch of them. We've then got 3 energy, erasable, 160 damage, and you may discard up to 2 energy from your bench Pokemon. This attack does 60 more damage for each card you discarded in this way. And as far as I'm concerned, there's 2 cards that have to be in this deck, and that is Team Rocket's Energy and Team Rocket's Spidops. Spidops has the ability charging up. Once during your turn, you can attach a basic energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon. And then we got Team Rocket's Energy, which counts as 2 energy. So you're cheating the energy a little bit using Team Rocket's Energy onto Mewtwo. And then Spidops is how you're getting the energy on to then discard it to do the extra damage. And then you're doing up to 280 damage. Clearly a very good Pokemon with a lot of potential. But it's been out for a while now. And it's not been good. I am firmly of the belief that had Team Rocket's Mewtwo's attack been 2 Psychic Energy, such that you could pay it with a Team Rocket's Energy, things would be different and this could be top tier, but it's not. And that's the biggest problem we've got here. Now, we know there is 1 copy of Team Rocket's Crobat in here, the EX. And this is a kind of a fun one. When you play it from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon, you may choose 2 of your opponent's Pokemon and put 2 damage counters on each of them. It's alright, and then 2 energy, 120, and you can return this Pokemon to your hand. For what it's worth, Team Rocket's Energy will pay for this. And it's cool and all, you get 2 copies. I might have said 1 a second ago, but it is definitely 2. Look at the front of the box. So, you know, you're getting a Team Rocket's Crobat line in there, but this is just not that competitive a deck. And then the A-spec here is Scramble Switch. And I love Scrambled Switch. I played Scramble Switch back in the day. Back when it came out, this is one of the ones that was reprinted from the original set of A-specs. Lets you essentially switch into the active while moving a bunch of energy over. Which makes sense, of course, because if we assume Spidops is in the deck, and you have to assume Spidops is in the deck, well, Spidops only attaches energy to itself, but it can attach any basic energy. So what you would potentially do here is have Spidops on the bench, grab a bunch of energy onto itself, and then scramble switch up to the active. You can see why the decision was made. You can see why people would look at this and go, oh, well, you know, Spidops, scramble switch into a Mewtwo. That makes perfect sense. But Secret Box is the A-spec of choice for Mewtwo decks. And that's not what we're seeing here. Which, again, is more reason why I find this deck, frankly, a little bit weird. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm assuming it has Team Rocket Spidops in, but we know that these League Battle decks have 6 cards on the front. Putting a 4th Mewtwo in would be a bit pointless, and so you have to put a couple other EXs in. They went for Team Rocket's Crobat. I can see why they do that, but this does feel More like we need a couple more EXs in there, rather than, hey, Mewtwo Crobat, that is the deck we're going for. And the A-spec is an odd choice, but then again, in the context of the deck and the way it's built, and we don't know the full deck list yet, then there's a very good chance that actually Scramble Switch makes the most sense, because in the build of the deck they're giving us, this is what you should be playing. Let me be clear about this, I still think this is a cool product. It is still going to give you a well-made deck, because all the League Battle decks have been well-made so far. It still gives you 5 EXs and an A-spec. It's still going to be fun to bring this to the table and play against the other League Battle decks. If you are a Pokemon player who wants to play competitively, this is still going to be a cool product to pick up and use to learn how to play a new deck. For many reasons, this is going to be cool. But when you compare it to like the Dragapult League Battle deck, I don't think it is in the same league. Because Dragapult is one of the best decks in the entire game, and all you had to do with that was make a few changes, grab a few singles, and you've got like a legit tournament-winning deck which has won a lot of events this year. And that was a deck that gave you Fezandipity, which was worth about as much as the entire deck, and Unfair Stamp, which is an A-spec that sees a lot more play than something like Scramble Switch. One way to put it is that this entire Mewtwo deck on some websites can be bought as singles for $40, $45. Don't get me wrong, that's still more than $30, but some of the other League Battle decks like the Dragapult were such ridiculous bargains. So again, this one feels slightly out of place. I am not saying this is a bad product. I am saying there are many, many good things to like about this product, and I have put that down. But it does need to be borne in mind here that this does seem a little bit disappointing when you compare it to other League Battle decks. Still a good chance I pick it up, though. For now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to know what you think about this. I want to know if you're excited. I want to know anything you want to tell me. So let me know in the comment section. Get us! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel like the lovely Quentin Journeau, who's been a support of ours for a while now and seems to be a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.